Hi, I'm Linda. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia, and today I've got something cute to show you. It's a little box that I designed a few weeks ago. In fact, it was my stamp club project for all my stamp clubs in July 2014, July just that we're having right now, and it was inspired by a card that I'd seen where they'd done a different shape at the top of the card, and I thought, well, that would translate pretty easily to a box. So this is the box, okay? I've done it in several different colours, which I'll show you all of them. This is the red with silver and some little hearts, and I've got some little cards inside here, okay? So you can see the little cards that I've popped in my box. Really easy to do, so simple. And I've done it in a couple of other colourways as well. So I did the red and popped them in. And then I also did a blue one, which I actually really like because I love blue, as for anyone who knows me well. And then I was thinking for, you know, a wedding or something, you could do it in gold. And I've actually embossed the I Love Lace stamp set onto a piece of paper and then cut that out with my heart framelits. So I'll show you how I did it. I thought the red would show up easiest in the video, and that's this one here. It's really simple to do, and you want to start with a piece of paper that is 11 inches long. Okay, so pretty much a full width, the full length of cardstock almost. For those in Australia, it's a little bit that you just cut a little strip off. And then I'm going to get the width is 5 1/4 inches. Okay, I've kept this in inches because I find most of my customers do prefer it. Okay. Now 5 1/4 actually minus a tiny slither, so maybe a 1/16 of an inch less, but tiny little bit less, and I'll show you why we need to have a little bit less than 5 1/4. Okay, so then I'm going to use my scoring tool, and I'm going to do my long sides first. When you're using cardstock with the scoring tool, you want to use the smaller end, the smaller ball on one end of your scoring tool. I'm doing it at the 1 inch mark. I put a marker in there, and I'm just going to do 1 inch from the edge, and I'm going to turn it around and do another one. So I've got 1 inch on each side, and then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to pop it at the top of my scoring tool here, and I want to score the base of the box, so that's at 5 inches and 6 inches. 5 1/2 obviously would be the halfway point for your 11 inch. Now if you modify the size, because you can make these boxes any height you like, I just happen to be working with 11, but you're just going to have an inch in the middle, so that's going to form the base of your box in the center. Okay, so we've got 2 lines on either side and 2 score lines in the middle. That's all we need our simply scored scoring tool for. Okay, so really easy. Don't fold it up straight away. I know most of us are used to folding as soon as we've scored, but we're not going to do that this time because we're going to cut first, and I'm going to do that on my Big Shot, so I'll move that over here. Okay, if you don't have a Big Shot, you might want to think about waiting a little bit, because in August Stampin' Up are doing some Big Shot promotions. So you really want to keep your eyes out for those. It'd be a great time to buy one if you don't have one already. So speak to your demonstrator and get them to tell you what the August specials are once they get released. We don't even know completely what they are yet, so waiting for that. So I'm using my magnetic platform, this one here, which I find really easy to use with the framelits, and I'm going to put my first cutting pad down. And I'm using the biggest heart out of the hearts framelit set. Okay, so this is the biggest one that's got the scallopy edge. And I'm actually going to grab my paper, and if I was to put my heart here at the top and run that through, obviously I'm going to cut a heart right out the top. Well, I don't want to do that. I only want to cut the top shape. You could use other shapes for this. Now this heart at its widest point here is 5 1/4 inches wide. But if you make it exactly, if you make the paper exactly 5 1/4 inches, it'll be a very tight squeeze. Okay. What I've done is taken a tiny slither off my 5 1/4 inch piece so that it fits more easily. And you'll notice that the heart framelit has a little lip on one side. That's the cutting edge on the inside of the heart there, and the other side is flat. So we want to have the cutting edge towards the paper, but only at the top. So I'm just going to pop that in here so that the top of my heart, hopefully you can see this easily, the top of the heart there is right where that cutting edge is. Okay, the cutting edge and the paper, and then the rest of it sits behind. Okay, so because my cutting edge is only facing the top, it's only going to cut the top, and the rest of it, where it's flat against the paper underneath there, isn't going to cut through, but it will leave an imprint. So I'm going to roll it right through. If you don't want the imprint, the secret is you roll it through as far as it cuts and then you roll it back out again. Okay, so then you wouldn't get the imprint. I like the imprint, I think that looks great. So when I pull that off, okay, you can see now I've got the imprint of the heart here, but it didn't cut, okay. It's more deep on this side here. If you like the more deep imprint, then you can have that side showing. If you like it just to be faint, then you go with the other way, okay. But both sides look good. So I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to do exactly the same thing all over again on the other end, okay. And because you're lining it right up at the very top, it's going to match. So very, very easy thing to do. This was a really popular Stamp Club project this month. Everyone really liked it and I was really excited to have something original to show them, so that was cool too. I'm going to run that in through. So I'll show you what I mean about the imprint. If you don't want the imprint, you just run it through as far as it would cut and then you'd roll it back out again and you won't get the imprint below, but I do want it, so I'm running it all the way through. So now we've done both sides. Okay, everyone should be able to see that, I think. Oh, sorry, just throw my plates on the floor. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've got my two edges. Okay, the more deeper imprint is here on this side and the other side a little fainter. I really like the deeper imprint, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, before I fold up my bits, I mean, it's up to you now. You could go ahead and fold or you can cut first. Either way, I'll just cut. Grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut on this little score line here. Turn it over so it's a bit more easy for you to see. That little score line there, just as far as the perpendicular line, score line going across. Okay, and the same on the other side. So I'm just making a little tab. Very simple box design. Okay, and then you're going to fold all the remaining score lines. Okay, I'm going to fold that in. And you can probably see how this is coming together now. Very, very simple. You're going to apply some glue. Sticky strip's still the best thing for boxes in my opinion, to the tabs, to the outside of the tabs. And then this one is going to sit on there. And that one is going to sit, you can have it going inside if you prefer, it doesn't really matter. Okay, just a note, when you're putting your sticky strip on, and I'll show you what I mean, you don't want to go too high. You don't want to go too high up the... I'll just use snail, that's handy, just because it's quick, even though I wouldn't normally recommend that you use snail. So you want to go up, but not too high, only as far as where this indentation is. And the reason why, so if I was to do this now, fast fuse would be another great alternative, okay? And then I'm going to pop that one here. Now if I had gone too high up to the top, my glue would stick out the top here. So I don't want any glue showing, I just want to make sure it's all hidden, and you can see how that comes together. And I would do the same thing on the other side. Probably should have applied that first, but that's okay. The other thing to note is try and keep your glue on the scored side, not the cut side, and the reason why is so that that extra bit won't flap around. So that just goes in here like this, and this bit sticks. If I had done it on the other edge, this edge here, then this bit would hang loose. So I would like that to sit flush with the edge, and you can see that the box stands up quite nicely. Okay, so that's how you do the box. Then I cut out a few more shapes from the same heart, the three smallest hearts in the heart framelit pack. I did one in glimmer paper, one in just real red, and one in some paper from our flashback DSP. And I have dimensional those one on top of the other. And then I put a bit of adhesive on the back of this one and attached it like this. Okay, so it actually fits into your heart box quite nicely. Okay, you can see that there. Alright, I did a little hole in the side here and just knotted a bit of ribbon through. You could use any ribbon that matches your project. And then I did my little cards to match. Okay, so really, really simple. I've used the Everything Eleanor Flourish on here, but you could use any stamp that you wanted to do. There's no rhyme or reason what you have to do here. I did use hearts again on the inside to carry through the theme from the outside. and I used very vanilla because there's very vanilla in this DSP, but you would just use whatever cardstock you wanted to use to match. As far as the size for the little cards, they are 5 inches by 6 inches, and then I folded them on the 6-inch side so that the front of it is 3 inches across. So these little cards end up being, the card front ends up being 3 inches by 5 inches, and that's the perfect fit for your little box. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that today. I know my stamp clubs really enjoyed it. You can add any sentiment you like, but have a lot of fun with it. They're a great little gift and a lot of fun to make. Thanks, bye.